Hi there. Are you my 4 o'clock? Oh, it's so nice to meet you. My name is Alex. How are you doing today? You're excited? I'm so glad. So, you booked a consultation, a stylist consultation, for a bunch of weddings, right? Okay. So, if I remember correctly, on your appointment form, you had said you have a couple weddings coming up that you will be attending, and you would like a dress or a couple of dresses that you can wear to those, correct? Okay, wonderful. So, the thing with weddings is, I think, the tricky thing, or the thing that trips people up a lot, is the dress code. I think it can get a little confusing, especially if you have multiple weddings, multiple destinations, multiple dress codes, multiple relationships to the couple. It can be a little bit stressful to know what to wear in those instances. So, for these weddings that you have, do you know the dress code? Okay. So, one is definitely formal, and the other ones you're not sure about. Okay, that's fine. So, I think the first step today would be looking at some examples of each of the dress codes for weddings so that we get like an idea of what is appropriate for each dress code. Do you think that would be helpful for you? Okay, wonderful. So we can do that first, and then I can go through a couple dresses that we have here, and you can see what an example, a real life example of each of these dress codes would be. And then, of course, if you like any of the dresses, you can go ahead and try them on and potentially wear them to one or multiple of these weddings. Yeah. So, I know you have a couple weddings. I think it would be great if we could find one dress that you could wear multiple times. Obviously, dresses are expensive, and you might not necessarily wear it all the time, like formal dresses. We don't have a ton of events in our lives, or at least I don't. Maybe you do. But generally, people don't have a lot of events in their lives to wear formal dresses, so it would be great if we could find something that you could wear to multiple of these weddings. Yeah? Okay. Awesome. So let's start by just going over. Oh, this is water on it. Going over the different wedding dress codes and what they mean, because they can be a little bit confusing, and then what is appropriate to wear. So I have my trusty consultation binder here. It's just really helpful because it has visuals, it has notes on what each dress code is and what is appropriate for each one. Yeah. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so the first dress code we are going to look at is white tie. So I'm assuming none of the weddings you're going to are going to be white tie. I think you would probably know if they were, because this is like royal weddings, weddings of celebrities. I don't know what the Taylor and Travis dress code was, but maybe they could have gotten away with white tie, definitely. So white tie is going to be really the most formal dress code, and it's going to include things like full skirted ball gowns, opera gloves. It's going to be like really luxe fabrics and colors. You can get away with wearing like tiaras or really statement gorgeous jewelry. This is gonna be like full out Oscars red carpet kind of thing. So this is gonna be dramatic ball gowns, full skirts, opera gloves, and fine jewelry. Yes, so this is not what we are going to be looking at today. I don't even know if we have any white tie dresses in the shop. But I think your average person is not going to be attending many white tie events. Moving on, the next dress code is black tie. So it's not the opposite of white tie. It is just slightly more or slightly less formal. But this, I think black tie is the most formal that an average person might make their wedding. So if they are getting married in like, a mansion, a castle, a museum, somewhere like really grand and luxurious, they're gonna have luxury food and drink and it's like a ball basically, then the dress code is probably black tie. So black tie is going to be long dresses, formal long dresses. It's going to be it doesn't have to be a sleeker silhouette, but it's going to be more sleek than white tie. Like you wouldn't wear a ball gown to a black tie wedding. So it's usually going to be a little bit sleeker. Again, it's still going to be those luxe fabrics, satin, velvet, silk, and typically, there's not really a color rule, but generally more of these like royal, rich colors. We have black, we have these rich royal blues, we have this lovely deep purple color. So like I said, this is going to be sleek floor length gowns, satin or velvet. Not only satin or velvet, but this is giving you an example of the fabrics that you might use, and then elegant jewelry. Okay. The next one is formal, which I know you said you have at least one wedding that has the formal dress code. So this will be good to go over. So formal dress code is going to be floor length gowns still. This one is a midi, but I think with the styling and the style of the dress, I think it's okay. I think, you can use your judgment to determine if a gown is formal or not. But I do like to note that if dresses are not your style, that's totally fine. You can wear, a very elegant, refined jumpsuit. It can't be a casual jumpsuit. If you were going to the jumpsuit route, it has to be a very elegant version of a jumpsuit, but you can wear a jumpsuit if you desire. But otherwise, it's going to be a floor length gown. I think there's more variety in color, style, fabric for formal than for black tie. It's not going to be like the fanciest thing ever. So yeah, the options are floor-length dress, elegant jumpsuit, or refined cocktail dress. I think the wording of this is a little confusing. I think by refined cocktail dress, we mean something like this. So not short, not um, not tight. You know, there is a cocktail dress code, so you would wear a cocktail dress for that. But given the shape of this dress, the color, I think it is formal enough for a formal wedding. And then, of course, it also depends on how you style it with these beautiful high heels, this beautiful jewelry. Okay, next we have cocktail. So cocktail is going to be midi length or shorter. Okay, so I think all of the ones we have pictured here are midi length. You can go shorter than that though. That would be fully appropriate. I think obviously not too short. We're not doing mini minis. It is still a wedding and we want to look appropriate and refined. But just because we only have midis pictured does not mean you can't go shorter. And these are going to be the description here says bright colors and fashion forward silhouettes. That's not to say you can't do bright colors or fashion forward silhouettes in formal, black tie, etc. But I think because it's less formal, it gives you a little bit more freedom in expression to wear what you like and what feels good to you. So for instance, we have, this is an off shoulder with a bow, and again it's a midi length, a little bit more contoured to her body. We have this gorgeous dress which has a little cape on top, and then a beautiful like bodycon silhouette. And then we have this, which has a halter neck, a top. And then again, if wearing dresses is not your thing or you just don't feel like it, you can also wear a jumpsuit as a cocktail in a cocktail event. It'll be slightly less formal than the formal version of the jumpsuit, but this is like a lovely black with this kind of ruched top. This is perfect for a cocktail event. Okay. Then we have semi-formal. So semi-formal is going to be less formal than all of the ones we've seen before. This is generally organized from most formal to less formal. So that's why we're going in this order. It's not necessarily, but that's kind of the general cadence. So these are going to be slightly more casual silhouettes. We see a lot of wrap dresses, a lot of more like flowing fabric. You can do longer sleeves if you would like, or these beautiful like flowy sleeves here are gorgeous. She has got some beautiful ruching in this dress, a little v-neck. She has also got a fascinator on, which I believe the dress code should say if a fascinator is expected, or if you're going to a wedding for a culture where everyone wears one. For instance, like an English wedding, everyone wears hats or all the women wear hats or fascinators. So that would be expected of you. But you can absolutely get away with this gorgeous semi-formal dress with a fascinator. You don't have to go full formal for that. And then in terms of fabrics, you'll see a lot of florals. Like here, you'll see a lot of pastels, these kind of softer, less strict colors and patterns. You could do polka dots, you could do stripes, slightly less formal. And the descriptor we have is wrap dresses, soft florals, and understated elegance. Okay. Then we have casual. Now, I will say this about casual. I think it can be interpreted in many different ways. If you personally know the couple and you know the wedding is like a backyard barbecue and you know everyone's going to be wearing shorts and t-shirts, by all means, do that. But I will caution you from always interpreting casual like that, because if you're not super close to the couple or maybe you don't fully know the vibe, I would lean towards something like this for casual. So these are really day dresses, like casual summer dresses that you probably already have in your closet. So that makes it really nice. But we have kind of fun, soft colors and patterns like this rainbow dress. We have very casual fabrics like linen, cotton, very comfortable. We have this like beautiful little milkmaid design down here in this gorgeous blue. And then we have this like striped button down dress. Very cute, very chic. And you'll notice that like most of these pictures, they're wearing sandals. They have very casual accessories, sunglasses. So this is the way I would interpret casual if you don't immediately know what casual means. Is like probably something you already own, how you would dress if you were like going out on a summer day to brunch maybe with the girls and like you want to look nice but you're not putting that much effort in. So casual summer dress, sandals. Yeah. So the notes for this is relaxed sundresses, cotton maxis, polished sandals. Okay. Now, this is slightly confusing. I will give you that. So we have a separate category for daytime. That is not to say that you won't have semi-formal weddings during the day or formal weddings during the day. But this is just to give you an idea of what you could wear to a daytime wedding while still looking beautiful, put together, elegant. We have T-length dresses, so that's going to be slightly longer than a midi, with eyelet fabrics and cheerful florals. So here is another gorgeous girl wearing a fascinator. So for instance, if you were going to an English wedding, they usually take place during the day, and you would wear a fascinator, this would be a gorgeous dress to wear. We have these beautiful florals. We have this gorgeous neckline, really beautiful. So this is more elevated than like your casual summer dress that you might just pop on. And then again, we're gonna be wearing heels. We're gonna be wearing nice jewelry, nice accessories. So it's gonna elevate the look even more. We have gorgeous eyelet fabrics to, of course, have some breathable fabric during a daytime wedding that can get a little warm. We have florals, soft pastels. We have this kind of A-line skirt here with the pleats, really, really gorgeous. So this is just to give you some ideas of what you might wear to a daytime wedding. Then we have Western. So I would assume you would know if you were going to a Western wedding. It is a very specific vibe, I would say. But I do think a lot of it is in the accessories, wearing hats, where's my stick? Wearing hats, these big chunky belts, of course cowboy boots, and then the dress itself, I think it leans more bohemian, very loose, very free, you know. The description says prairie dresses. Prairie dresses in boho floral. So that's kind of what the dresses are. As you can see, these are all kind of long sleeve with these big billowing sleeves, and then very flowy floral vibe. And then you pair that with the boots and the hat, you're golden. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about that one because you're not going to one, but it is a pretty fun category. The next one, again, I don't think this is relevant to you right now because you said they're all summer weddings, but if someone was having a wedding during the holidays, during New Year's, around that time, they might have a festive dress code. That does not mean green and red necessarily. It does not mean gauche. But you can get a little bit more fun with the sparkles, with the sequins, with the color palette. You can do more golds, silvers. So the description says sequins, metallic fabrics, and statement silhouettes. So that's a fun one, but again, not really relevant for this time of year. And then lastly, we have beach / resort. So again, I think you would know if you were going to one of these, it would probably require some travel. But these are going to be your tropical florals, your very light, breathable, breezy fabrics, and very light silhouettes. Like these are all long dresses, but they're not formal dresses, right? These are very tropical, very beachy. You dress it with sandals or a sun hat, and yeah, you can have a beach wedding and have a different dress code. But if it is kind of a beachy dress code, you would wear something like this. Okay, I know that was a lot. A lot of information thrown at you. How do you feel? Okay. So do you think that provided some clarity for you on what is expected from each dress code. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's pretty important, I think, to try to follow the dress code as much as you can, especially for a wedding. I think, like other events have dress codes, obviously, but for a wedding, it's really not about you, obviously. It's about the gorgeous couple. So, staying in dress code, make sure that you're not standing out at all, which is really the goal. So, I have some examples here of different dresses for different that could work for different dress codes. So do you want to take a look? Okay. Okay. So the first dress that I have is a formal dress. It is a floor length gown. And it has this beautiful silhouette. So, sorry, it's kind of hard to show. So it has this V-neck silhouette, these little, very little spaghetti straps, which are not adjustable. It is a formal dress, so it would be expected to be tailored to you if necessary. The bodice does have built-in cups, which means you don't have to wear a bra and you don't have to be worried about a little nip slip situation. It goes down into this ruching down here, which is lovely, and there is boning all throughout this bodice area, so it is going to give you some shape and maintain shape. Then the ruching continues down into this gorgeous draped moment. Absolutely stunning. And then, of course, it goes all the way down to the floor. So it's quite heavy. There's a lot of fabric here. The back is going to have an invisible zipper, and then it also has this gorgeous ruching on the back here. Super pretty. It's in this beautiful blue color. Yeah, so this is definitely a formal dress. It could potentially even work for black tie if you styled it really intentionally with some really gorgeous pieces, but definitely formal enough for formal. So you could potentially wear this to your formal wedding. Yeah. I think for formal it's going to be a little bit difficult to find a dress that would work for formal and also for other dress codes, but we can see if we can find anything. So this next one is a lot less formal. This is a wrap dress. So it is long. It is all the way to the floor pretty much. However, just because of the style and the colors, it is not considered formal. It is a wrap dress, so you would wear it like this and then it would wrap around. So you would end up with a V-neck neckline. It has straps which are adjustable, which gives you an idea into the formality of this. It is this gorgeous fabric, really light fabric with these beautiful florals and other designs. It's super pretty, and it's these very rich colors. We have this royal blue, this beautiful teal, and pinks and golds. Just absolutely gorgeous. So it wraps around and you tie the band around your waist so it will snatch in your waist a little bit, and then it goes down and it has a little ruffle at the bottom. So I think that this dress could be semi-formal. It's a wrap dress, it's this floral fabric. This would also definitely work for a beach wedding. It would work for like a garden wedding during the day if it was semi-formal. You could dress it up or down with sandals or heels. So I think this is very versatile. The only problem is you couldn't wear it for a formal wedding. Yeah. So that's that. Next we have this dress. This is also a floor length dress. This snaps around here. Hang on. And then it also ties at the waist. So this is this absolutely gorgeous blue color with these beautiful pink flowers and green leaves on it. It has this gorgeous ruching detail all down the front. Again, you have that V-neck neckline. It has this beautiful ruching, and then it comes in at the waist. And then it flows all the way down to your feet. And then my favorite detail is at the bottom we get this gorgeous little stripe of pink, which is just so pretty. And then the back is, so the sleeves go up and around, obviously, and then the back you get this little peekaboo moment, and then the ruching continues all the way down. So the peekaboo moment, very cute, but it does mean you cannot wear a bra with it. You would have to wear like a sticky bra. But so just a warning, but the peekaboo is very cute. This is full length. So again, I would say this is a semi-formal dress because of the fabric, the color, and the style. It is full length. You might be able to get away with it being formal if the wedding is taking place in a garden or somewhere outside, maybe during the day. You could get away with this being formal. I think this would be beautiful to wear in for a garden wedding, or it's not quite light enough for like a beach wedding, but yeah, if the wedding is taking place outside, I think this would be a beautiful dress to wear. Okay. And then I have just one more example. So this is a beautiful dress in this deep maroon color. It again has the spaghetti straps, but this one has more of a cowl neck that droops down a little bit. And this one does not cinch at the waist, but just is kind of A-line all the way down. But the beautiful detail of this dress is that it has these buttons that go down the side of the dress, which are so pretty. And then it does have a slit in the side. And this is a midi length dress. So I would say this is appropriate for a cocktail wedding. It's not formal enough to be formal, so you could not wear it to a formal wedding. Perhaps it could be semi-formal if it's taking place at night, like in a more, fancy place. You could wear this to semi-formal or cocktail. Yeah, the buttons are just so pretty. Yeah. And it's this beautiful, like, satin fabric, which makes it, I think, a little bit more formal. And also the color, the jewel tone color, also helps make it more formal. Okay, so those are all of the dresses I had to show you. Do any of them spark your interest? You want to try any of them on? Okay, yeah, that's totally fine. I mean, I think I gave you a lot of information today, so you can go back, look at all of the invitations for all of these weddings, make sure you know all of the dress codes, and then you can find dresses that hopefully fit multiple dress codes, or if that can't be done, unfortunately you will need dresses or jumpsuits for each event. Yeah. Well, I'm so glad I could help you today, at least give you the information that you need on how to interpret wedding dress codes. I hope you have so much fun at all of these weddings. Yeah. Do you know how you're doing, like your hair and makeup and everything? I think it's probably too early if you don't even have a dress, but... Oh, really? You're hopeless at hair? Okay. That's so fair. I am too. Like, I can't do my own hair to save my life. Yeah. Well, actually, there's another girl who works in this shop. She specializes in hair. So if you wanted, I could set up a little consultation with you and she can go over the different ways that you could style your hair for these weddings. Yeah, of course. It would be my pleasure. Yeah. Okay. Well, it was so nice to meet you. I hope you have the most fun at these weddings. And maybe I'll see you next time.